friends, it's Virginia, just popping in because I wanted to make just a little chit-chat video because I haven't done that in a long time. Like the last time I sat down and made a video and like talked, well I guess I did like a thrift haul recently, and then before that I did a like my sad life update, and then before that I think like the last video I did was like in January, and it is now May 20th. And I'm pretty sure this is just going to go up on my vlog channel, so probably people won't even see it. I just wanted to come in and talk because I haven't just been able just to chit-chat, which I guess you normally don't just chit-chat with a camera because the camera can't respond and it's not a conversation. But it is currently, it's officially my third day of summer, but technically it's not summer for me yet because I'm done with all my finals except for one of them, which is a paper that I need to write that my professor gave me an extension on because a couple weeks ago the power went out. You may know that 2.5 months ago there was a tornado where I live, and that knocked out our power for a week. And then it was like, I think it was like literally the 2-month anniversary of the tornado, another storm came through, and it was like, there's like a special name for it. I don't know, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like, it was a thunderstorm that had insane gusts of wind. So it just got up to like 70 miles per hour just winds at the surface. And it knocked out our power again. That was the like Sunday before my final week of classes, which, you know, was pretty badly timed, but I mean it probably would have been worse if it had been my finals week. It actually knocked out like, I think the highest number was 130,000 people's power that Nashville Electric Service like provides to. So that was like kind of crazy, and we again didn't have power, and it was kind of like, it just really sucked because it just brought back everything, you know, that we dealt with 2 months ago. And then I also had to like do school and you know, like we didn't have a way to charge our devices, so I had to sit in the car and charge my phone and be on Zoom lectures, and it was just kind of poopy. And then also my favorite professor who taught my favorite class this semester, like our last week of classes with her got canceled because she got diagnosed with coronavirus, and like she's okay. I don't know, I haven't talked to her in a while, but it's just like a mild case. Like most of the cases are mild, but it's like, oh, I feel so bad because she had been staying at home for like months and she still got sick. And she has like 3 kids, so I hope she's doing better now. But yeah, so for the classes that I do know my grades, I've gotten A's, and I think I'm gonna get an A in my history class, which I don't know my grade for yet, but like the current Blackboard grade I think has everything in that's going to be in, and I have an A currently. And then I'm assuming I'll get an A for my lit class, which is what I have my paper due for. Because I currently have an A, and then I just have like a paper to do. And she literally gave me like she just said take whatever time you need to finish it up. So I have time, like plenty of time to do it, but I should probably like crank that out pretty soon. It's over The Color Purple and some Flannery O'Connor short stories, and I really enjoyed reading them. I really enjoyed that class, like I said. It was a religious literature class, which is great because it fulfilled requirements for both my gen eds and my religion major, because I'm majoring in religious studies. So let's see, that happened, and then I finished my last class, like my last final, like finals week ended last Friday. It's currently Wednesday, May 20th, like I said. And you know, the weekend was fine, but like this week so far actually hasn't really been that great. My sleep schedule is really off, so like I can't go to bed before like 3 a.m. and then I get up, like I wake up at noon, and I just like kind of hate that, but it's like really hard to fall asleep earlier when you're not tired. And I live in Tennessee, so places are starting to reopen, so my parents have been like pushing me to get a job, and I actually stopped by a place that I might be working at. There's like a few places that I'm looking into. You know, I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to be working. I would rather not work at a food place, but I kind of like don't have any other options. And, you know, this summer I guess will be the first time that I have like a real job, so that'll be kind of like that's like kind of scary. Like I literally, I sat in the car for 15 minutes before I went in and got an application, and then when I was like talking to the manager, I was super awkward because it was also the first time that I had like been wearing a mask in public, because the only time I've been in public since like March was like when we went out to eat the first night that our power was out, because like we didn't have any way of preparing food for ourselves, so we had to like go and get stuff, and we didn't wear masks then because we were eating. So, but yeah, my room, I uploaded a cleaning my room video, and I actually finished filming that like a couple weeks ago now, and it just took me a while to get it like edited and uploaded. But my room is actually still pretty clean, and I'm loving it. I also am spending way too much time like sitting or laying on my bed on my TV, because I have a Roku box, so I can watch Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, YouTube. YouTube has been the one that is keeping me in bed, and it's like, see, what I hate is that I love watching YouTube, and I also love commenting and like looking at the comments, but you can't do that on the TV. So like the time that I would spend reading the comments and browsing the comments and, you know, commenting on people's posts, I spend just watching other videos that I don't super care about as much, and so I'm just spending so much time like just doing something that's not fulfilling me, but it's still wasting time. And frankly, wasting electricity, because I'm spending a lot of time on this TV. But obviously, you know, when I start working, I won't have as little to do. And the thing is, it's not like I even have little to do. Like I have this big, I mean, it's a to-do list, but it's like a to-do in quarantine list. I'm actually gonna make a like what to do when you're bored in quarantine video, even though that probably would have been most useful like 2 months ago, but I had school to do 2 months ago, so I didn't have any time. But also, like, now that people are on summer break, and the people that like won't be going back into society are still gonna need things to do. So I have like a big list of stuff for myself that I want to get done, and you know, possibly that'll be in videos at some point, hopefully soon. But I mean, like, I would like to start doing YouTube videos more consistently. I always say that. Well, actually, I don't know. I didn't really say that about my freshman year of college because I just wasn't sure what to expect. And so I guess going into this summer, I still am not sure what to expect, especially, you know, when I start working, because that'll be a new thing for me. But, you know, work at least has like a finite, like, you work here to here, whereas school, it's like you have classes in these times, but you also have everything else you have to do outside of this that you should be doing instead of doing other things. But work is just like da-da-da, and then you get to make money, which is pretty cool. This week has been kind of like a downer, just because I don't have, you know, my school stuff to keep me busy, and I don't have like Zoom classes to help me hear other people's voices, and then like I'll wake up at noon, and by that time my brother's already on his first nap, or maybe he hasn't even come out of his bed at that point in the day, so I'm just like kind of lonely, and I haven't had much human interaction, and like my parents are getting annoyed at me for every little thing, so it's like I'm just like not in the best headspace right now, but hopefully I'll be able to like get myself to schedule time with my friends. I'm actually going to see some friends for the first time in like 2 months. I'm going to see friends and we're just gonna go and meet in somebody's house. I'm so excited to see them because they're like my college friends that live in my area. I haven't seen them essentially since like mid-March because I didn't really like say goodbye to my friends at school because we thought we would be back in a week, and then we got the whole semester canceled. So it was like I haven't seen these people in a long time. And I'm so, like, thinking about it makes me want to cry. Like, I'm so excited to see these people. But one thing I have been doing a lot in quarantine, which really this isn't quarantine, it's just self-isolation and like staying inside, but it's just easier to say quarantine because that's what everyone is saying. But something that I have been doing while we've been staying home is actually dressing up every day. I went to private schools, kindergarten through 12th grade, so I never got to like choose my own outfits. And now I have quite the collection of thrifted clothes, and so I've been, you know, like dressing myself. Like today I'm wearing my like fun, these are like my airbender pants because they have like brown orange color on it, and then they're also flowy. Speaking of airbenders, Avatar The Last Airbender came onto Netflix, so that is just so exciting. That is my favorite show of all time, and I was just like reminiscing about it. I follow a bunch of Avatar accounts on Instagram, and I'm just like, you know, I can't look at this fandom from an outside perspective now, because a bunch of normal meme pages are making memes about it, where I normally just like follow like specific Avatar meme pages, so I'm like kind of like, what is the whole world experiencing? Like, are we getting more people into like the fandom, or like, I don't know. That probably doesn't make any sense, but like, I'm just so excited that more people are watching Avatar, essentially. Because it's my favorite show, and it's like I grew up with it, and then when I got into high school I didn't like grow out of it or stop watching it. I just continued to enjoy it, because it's like as you get older then you start to appreciate some of the lessons and the characters a lot more. And also I'm a person, my mom thinks I'm weird for doing this, but like I'm a person who likes to watch something or read something and then I will rewatch it or reread it multiple times, because the way that I measure something as good is having an interesting plot while also being funny or entertaining, and then being able to maintain that on the second or third or fourth or however many like watch throughs that you do. And then another criteria that I have for something being good is when you keep noticing and picking up on new things. So like something for me, like the movie Atlantis, is I have grown up with that movie. I think it came out in like 2001 or 2002, like right at the very end of the Disney Renaissance. It's kind of a forgotten film, but it's, you know, it's something I grew up with and I grew up watching it, and so I don't ever remember not knowing the plot. But it's like every time I watch that, I pick up on new jokes because the script is just hilarious, and like the voice actors make the characters so alive. And also something I didn't realize growing up, and like no one pays attention to this or acknowledges it, but that's like, it's a pretty diverse like ensemble of characters. Like of course there's white people, but there's also like some guy from Turkey, there's a French guy, there is a Latina like teenager woman, like people act like that's revolutionary now, but in 2001 this film came out and there was a hilarious Latina little lady that was like the main mechanic of this huge expedition, that's what it's called. And also the doctor is a mixed Native American and African American. Like, why does nobody talk about the diversity in that movie? I mean, of course, I'm white, so I'm hardly ever in an area where I'm like the minority, and so diversity naturally, like, it's not something I would naturally think about as much, but like, I took a gender and women's studies class my first semester, and it just kind of made me look at privilege and like racism, like with things that I never thought about before. Because that's just not something I experience. And so I kind of like appreciated thinking about this thing that I didn't need to think about normally because I don't experience it, but that's still, there's so many people in America that do deal with being a minority and that aren't represented, like in movies and stuff. So, yeah. I don't know. Where was I even going? Oh, I was saying Avatar was great because I rewatch it and I still am entertained by it, and I also notice new things about it. Oh, and before that I was saying that I've been dressing up every day in quarantine because it makes me feel happy to like wear outfits, and I also like organized all my jewelry and I've been wearing it more often, and I have this like new watch that I've actually already broken like twice, but it's okay because I can put it back together. I took the quiz. I am a Tinker Fairy. Specifically Tinkerbell because my middle name is Belle. That's actually, like, at my high school we got senior hoodies and we would like have a name that we chose, and I put Tinkerbell. It's a good nickname. My friends actually came up with it and I adopted it because I loved it. How much time has it been? Oh my gosh. I've been talking for 17 minutes, so I'm going to stop talking. Probably no one has even watched this point, but if you have, thanks for listening to my stream of consciousness rant about what's been going on, about how much I love the movie Atlantis. Yeah, okay. I think that's all I'm gonna say, so I hope you're doing well, and I will see you next time. Bye!